This is the AirStep Multi. This is the AirStep flagship product. It's the real big boy of the AirStep range. It's a great MIDI controller, but now it's also got control for your Tonex. Now, a year or two ago, when it first came out, I bought the AirStep Play. And here's the thing, with the AirStep Multi, the flagship product, you actually get the MIDI control in this, but you also get the AirStep Play. And you get the AirStep Spark, you get all the Katana controls, all the specialist AirStep products are in here, and now the Tonex is part of that family as well. If you have checked out the video on the AirStep TX, it's not quite like that. It doesn't give you that fixed, rigid platform that you can't change. This one is totally programmable, and you've got access to all of the Tonex commands and to the app that goes with the AirStep Tonex TX version as well. Now, this one I paid for myself, and I've used a ton, and I've polished it and cleaned it just to show you it in this video. This one, on the other hand, I have been sent, but let's get into it and find out exactly what it can do. Right, let's unbox. So there it is, AirStep. This is the AirStep Smart Multi-Controller, and it comes like this. Let's pop it out. There we go. Inside you get a selection of little stickers to label it up for yourself. That's quite handy, clever. Then you get the AirStep itself. Oh, look, in the bottom there, there's all of the QR codes and things like that for manuals and stuff, I guess. And then in the bottom, there's a little box. What's in the little box at the bottom? We've got a USB adapter lead, a USB power lead, a USB-C lead. Handy. The unit itself, let's have a look. Come on. There we go. So that's the AirStep. That's what it looks like. Now, here's the thing. It's not like the other one. This one has got all this stuff on the back, and that's a lot of stuff on the back. So you've got a 9-volt power supply. That's for charging. Remember, this thing's got a battery in it as well. Power on and off switch, a function button. Come to that later. 2 expression pedals for your rocky pedals. A MIDI in, so it can be part of a MIDI chain. Things can go in it, be merged, go through. That's useful. Then it's got a USB in, out, shake it all about. 2 footswitch outs, in there for controlling things like amplifiers and stuff like that. And then it's got not 1, but 2 MIDI outs. 2 MIDI outs. Not many things do that. That's quite useful. I like that. Then on the top, you've obviously got your standard AirStep look with 5 buttons. And then you've got a little light above each button, each of which will have a different colour. And then the little light in the eye and the AirStep logo, which I think is a lovely, clever little feature. And of course, not forgetting the little wireless aerial on the back. So there's quite a lot there. This is a flagship product, so you would expect more, and it's certainly got a lot more connectivity and possibilities than the AirStep TX. When you get it, make sure you do all the firmware updates so you're on the latest version. It's no more hassle than doing it on any other device, and then you can download the app to control it as well. But before we look at the app and setting it up digitally and control-wise and seeing what it can do, let's see how we hook the thing up physically. So here we go. You will need 1 AirStep, 1 Tonex 1, and then USB port at the back takes your Tonex like that. So far so good. Then you get your power supply. That goes into the Tonex. And that's it. You can run this from a power supply as well. It does have a battery on board, so you don't need the power supply to run it. However, you do need power for your Tonex. Is it me, or was that almost disappointingly easy? And the apps are pretty easy as well. They download from the real App Store or Play Store, whether you're Android or Apple. There are two of them. One of them will update firmware, and one of them will actually do the business and let you program the AirStep. So let's have a look at the firmware updated one first. This is what you get into, and the first step is to go to Select Model. Well, we are on the AirStep Multi stroke Lite. There is a Lite version, which is the Multi without any of the connections on the back. You then put the AirStep into update mode by holding down that button and turning it on. That goes green, it's worked. Go back to your app, press Select Device, and it will show you AirStep. Select AirStep, and then we go into this little screen here, which gives you your firmware update. We want the version 9.7 beta at the minute. That's the latest version. It may not be by the time you watch that video. So you just click that and you can Once you've finished with that updater app, you can then go to the actual AirStep itself app. And this one lets you adjust all of the presets and parameters inside the AirStep to send whatever commands you want. It's really, really useful. So, looking at this, when you first open it up, you need to connect your AirStep to it. It's a doddle. All you do, at the bottom of the screen there, it says, touch to connect your AirStep. You get that, tap that, and then it connects your AirStep. You know it's done it because at the bottom of the screen, you get that bar there with those 5 blocks. Those 5 blocks are quite clever because they'll let you load 5 different setups into your AirStep and switch between them with just a touch of that app. So I could have, for instance, I might have on one, I might have a setup for Cubase because it's got a setup for Cubase. I could have on 2 a setup that does key commands, and I can use key commands to control, for instance, the video editing software that I'm going to use any minute to put this video together, and use quick keys on that with the AirStep. That's really useful. Or I can do what I've done here, and I've got on number 3 because that's grayed up. I can do that for my Tonex. So now this is all armed and ready to program the Tonex. So if you look along the top there, there are 5 little A, B, C, D, E buttons. They correspond to the switches on your AirStep pedal. So if we want to change them, we can. At the minute, they're set up to be compressor. Then we've got modulation, tap tempo, preset up, preset down. Now that's not the way I like mine set up, but it's not a big deal. It's not like the AirStep TX where everything's fixed. This one you can have whatever you want. Now let's have a look and go through and program one. For now we're just going to set presets 1 to 5 to be on buttons 1 to 5. Dead easy. All I need to do is to go into that first switch there, and it opens that big white screen. Now we can see from the top it says compressor. That's just the title you can give to it, so you can change that, and I'm going to change that straight away to preset 1. Preset 1. Done. The next thing I'm going to do is turn the toggle off, because I want my preset to just go on. I don't want it to toggle on and off, I just want to go on. So I get rid of that toggle. The LED display bit I'm just going to leave on normal. The next one is trigger. That's an interesting one because that determines how the signal is sent, whether it's sent on the press of the foot switch, whether it's sent on the release of the foot switch, or whether it's a long press and then send the signal. I want mine to be on the press because that's the best way to do it if you're just changing presets. You want to go preset, change now, not press it and then lift your foot up again. So we're going to go for press. Done. Next thing down, output interface. Well, that lets you decide which of the outputs on the back of the AirStep you want it to go out of. Remember, you've got 2 MIDI ports, you've got a USB, and you've got a Bluetooth. I'm just going to leave them all on. Done. Yeah, no faffing about. MIDI type, well, system configuration. Yeah, we just want it left on that. And then we're going to change this bit, the function to Tonex. And you can see all the different versions there. You've got your Waza Air, your Katana, your Sparks, but we just want Tonex. So that's done, and we've got Tonex. Byte 2 and byte 3 are where it gets interesting, because this byte 2 thing lets you choose what you want it to do. So you can go preset, compressor, you can turn your amp on and off. Not that you'd ever want to do that. Modulation, delay, reverbs, noise gate cap, tempo, all of the things that a Tonex can be controlled on. Well, we just want preset because that's what we're going to change. So I'll select preset. Byte 3 decides which preset. So I want to go to preset. I can go preset up, down, bank up and down, but I want preset 1. Okay, done. Click done at the top and save. And there you go, little whir, and it's done. Now, whenever I press that first button on my AirStep, it will give me preset number 1. Now I'm going to go through the whole process again 4 more times on each button. I can, remember, have any preset I like on any of those buttons. So if your presets are all over the place and you've got your favourite lead sound as number 19 and your favourite rhythm sound as number 4 and your clean sound as number 3, you can put them on whichever buttons you like. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your Tonex and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your AirStep. It can be anything you like. So let's quickly see that in action. I have changed my mind a little bit. I've got presets 1 to 4 and buttons 1 to 4, and on the 5th button I've decided to put a tap tempo because I thought that was quite a good idea. So let's have a listen to these presets changing. There's 1, that's my clean. 2's my push. 3 is my crunch, and 4 is my big lead sound. I've got a tap tempo on 5. Now let's try something really clever to get 2 things out of one of these buttons. You may have noticed me in the intro sequence do a long press on one of the buttons and it turned on a chorus. I can use the same button to switch a preset and to turn something else on. Watch how I do it. So being able to use a button to recall a preset and to then do something and modify that preset is really useful. In Tonex 1, it does cause a little bit of a hitch because Tonex 1 remembers what you do to it. So when you leave that preset and go back, that modulation or whatever you've done will still be on. So you do need another button to turn it back off, which is why I've used a tap tempo on 5, because 5 is also a double function that turns off my modulation, and I can use it to turn off more than one thing if I want to. But let's have a look at how you do it. It's pretty straightforward. If I show you what I've done, in preset 2, all I do, scroll down, you can see there I've added a message 2, a second message, and this one has Tonex. Preset is set to modulation, and then I'll set that last one to on. Done. So that, on a long press, will now turn my modulation on. Whatever you set your modulation to on your patch in your Tonex, that will turn it on. What it won't do is change from one modulation to a different kind of modulation. You'll need to do SysX to do that, and I don't think it'll work on Tonex 1, it'll only work on big Tonex. Then hit done. On switch E on my 5th switch, and then have a similar setup. Message 2, can you see what I've done there? Tonex 1, modulation, and I've set byte 3 to off. So the long press on button 5, or button E rather, will turn off your modulation. Easy as that. So there you go, AirStep Multi, that's a pretty cool little product. It's not only great for controlling your Tonex, and it's flexible, so you can get it to do whatever you want it to do with your Tonex, but you can also do a whole host of other things as well. So if you've got other MIDI gear that needs to be controlled, it will control it like a standard programmable MIDI controller. But if you've also got some of the things that it does the specialist pedals for, then you've got those specialist pedals in. And you can flip between 5 of them. Tell me what you think in the comments, but I'm going to hang on to this and I'm going to keep using it to control my Tonex at home, and then I'm going to control my Cubase and use that for recording. And then I'm going to replace my AirStep player with it as well. That way I've only got one AirStep on the floor that I'm going to leave under my desk instead of leaving my AirStep player under my desk because it's been there for years. I can leave this one under my desk for years and use that all the time. Yeah, bonus. I'm quite pleased with that. Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. And oh, do me a hype if you fancy it. Cool. Cheers.